What's up YouTube? That's a long drop. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the ultimate survival treehouse of 2019. Please remember that if you enjoy this tutorial, hit that like button, it really helps me and the channel out very much. And if you want to see what the inside looks like, I do have it all done up and furnished. The interior is completely done and I think you guys will like it. Make it to the end of the video because that is when I'm going to be showing it off. Make it to the end to see the inside. But without any further ado, let's get started. Before we begin building, here are all of the materials that we are going to be using. Please make sure that you have all of those materials and enough of them as well. The amount of space required to make the treehouse is a 20 block by 17 block area. If you are tight on space, please make the grid as it will help very much. And that's it. Pause the video if you have to. Make sure that absolutely everything is accounted for. And once you're ready, we can begin. So step one, my happy tree friends, involves us coming all the way to the very front left hand corner of the grid. If you've not made the grid, it's no big deal, really isn't, just wait one moment. From the corner, I want you to count to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then inwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is the starting position. I want you to place an oak wood on the ground. Place 2 to the right of it, 1, 2. Place 2 oak woods going back and to the right. Then place 2 oak woods going backwards. 1, 2. 2 oak woods back and to the left. 1, 2. 2 oak woods going left. 1, 2. 2 oak woods coming front and to the left. 2 oak woods coming towards the front. 1, 2. And then a final oak wood in the corner. This will produce a circular shape like this. This is the trunk of the tree and it's very important. It's so important that I want you to take the entire circle that we have created and I want you to add 6 more rows on top of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have to do this for every single one of these blocks. I would tell you guys to be a little bit apprehensive when placing this, as you do want to make sure that the oak woods are going to be placed vertically. It'd look a little bit strange if all of the oak wood kind of like was a bit wonky. It'd look a little bit weird if some of the oak wood was just like to the side and stuff. It'd look a little bit strange. It probably wouldn't look that good, but hey, I don't know. Maybe you can experiment. Maybe you can find out for yourself. I don't know. But the end result wants to look exactly like this. And we can then fill the top of this in using birchwood planks. This is going to be a floor. As a matter of fact, this is how we will in part get to the top of the treehouse a little bit later on. But that's later. So the next thing that I want to do now is I want to create the house, the lower house, which means that we come all the way to the very bottom center of the tree trunk. We want to be in the bottom middle of the trunk on the front. And I want you to place a birch plank and 2 on top. Extend that row towards you. I want you to leave a gap of 1 going right. Leave that gap of 1. Place another birch wood, 2 on top. And then we're going to place a row of birch wood behind this, like that. And then we're going to place another row, connecting to the tree. I then want you to extend that last row to the right by 1. You can extend the entire row like this. And then take the bottom of this row, this is where it's a bit different, and place 4 upside down birchwood stairs going right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place a birchwood plank going right of that and extend it upwards by 3. 1, 2, 3. You can even connect that third block all the way over to the left, like this. I want you to place birchwood planks on the insides, left and right of the area that you just created, and then glass in the remaining space. Place oak trapdoors left and right of the glass, and the oak trapdoors want to be connected to the build. We're also going to extend the side of the build coming backwards, and we want to add 5 additional rows of birch planks. So this end row of birch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that, and you want to take the entire row and extend all of it backwards. We are now going to take that and extend it towards the tree, and it should slot in quite nicely like this. I then want you to take the side of the house, and I want you to raise up these 4 middle blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 2 middle blocks. 1, 2. So we're creating kind of a pyramid-like shape. We're then going to place, in regards to this pyramid, well, we kind of have to do a couple of things. So, number 1, I want you to place a layer of oak wood slabs on the sides of the entrance area. The row of oak wood slabs come just along the sides of the top of these birchwood planks. They stick out one row, and then I want you to extend the oak wood slabs up and inwards until you eventually reach a point like this. Now, this is interesting because we also want to place a row of oak wood stairs in front of the larger part of the house here, just above where the windows are, and then we want to connect the oak wood slabs together to the house, and it also kind of wants to, whoops, what did I do there? And it also kind of wants to fit in and connect to that part of the roof also. And additionally, this is where the entrance is going to be, right? So just for a moment, I'm just going to dump these and I'm going to place a door. So just to give you a bit of a representation, like this is where the entrance is. And then perhaps above the entrance, you can either place a glass or you could place like a solid block or something like that, you know? Something like that would look fine, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys where the entrance of the house is. There's many layers to this house, and you'll actually get to see it a lot better later when I show you the inside, but until then, we now want to do the roof for the larger part of the house, which basically just means that we place rows and rows of oak wood stairs coming up along the side of the house here, and eventually they will reach the top. And you should find that the oak wood stairs, for some reason, come up as high as the oak wood. It's almost as if it was planned that way. Almost. And we just want to run these rows of oak wood stairs coming across and down the back of the house, and they should sit firmly in the same place as they do on the front. Additionally, we are going to extend the oak wood stairs out the side of the house as well, because depth is fun, and we are going to extend these out, and then upside down oak wood stairs underneath the overhanging layer. Just like, whoops, just like that. And now, let's say that you also wanted to add a little bit more detail to the house, but you didn't want to add windows, because this part of the house is small enough already, it doesn't need any more windows. But you could add some upside down birchwood stairs, like on the sides, if you wanted, kind of like this, you know? If you wanted to add just a little bit of detail, but you didn't want to add the glass in there, because it limits what you can do to the interior. Well, once you've done that, if you wanted to do that, I'm going to use birchwood planks, and in line with where we have the right side of the window, where we have these oak trapdoors, I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, and from this third oak stair, I'm going to knock this out, place a birchwood plank, and then 1, 2 on top. And that will give us, that looks wonderful, that is going to be the little mini part of the house right the way at the bottom of the build. And we will improve upon that later, we'll add more decoration and more fun stuff like that as we go along. Next, we are going to create a mechanism in which we will be able to climb up to where this platform area is here. So, beginning from the left of the entrance here, I want you to leave a gap of 2 in the ground, specifically 2, and then I want you to place an oak wood plank. We don't have oak wood planks on us at the moment, but it's not really a big deal. Well, from the oak wood plank, I want you to extend that plank backwards, and then up, and backwards, and up, backwards, and finally up. So, as you can see, the oak wood planks are basically just sitting, going up, kind of like a Tetris shape or something, you know? And I want to be able to place a layer of birchwood stairs going left of these oakwood planks, and it'll look like this. So these birchwood stairs are going to go left of these oakwood planks, and these birchwood stairs eventually want to get so high that we are able to walk directly from the stairs up and around a platform. Like that, right? But that's not quite good enough. What I want you to do is also build oakwood planks going left of these stairs as well, to make them look a little bit fancier. This would be a lot easier with actual oakwood planks instead of oakwood slabs, but at least I guess it's kind of going slow, right? Like this. Underneath those stairs, you may feel free to place yourself some upside down birchwood stairs. This will kind of give it a bit of a more polished effect. Like that. Now, the reason that we have stairs coming all the way up here is because we want to create a platform to walk around on. So we're going to use birchwood planks here, and we're going to place a layer of birchwood planks around the outside of the back of the tree, like this. So it's going to want to look a little something like that, okay, ladies and gentlemen? And I want you to do that kind of like 2 more times. It's going to look like this, so like, we're going to go around it 1 more time, like this. There we go. And then we don't really have to do the whole thing another time. I just want you to extend this stair backwards a few rows, like that. Just using planks. So we want to create something that's very roughly similar to this. And that should actually look alright. And what you can even do is destroy these 2 oakwood stairs here and replace those with birchwood planks like this. And I'm going to place oakwood slabs, so I'm going to just delete that block there. Is that feasible? Actually, I'll turn it into a solid oakwood plank, and I want you to place oakwood slabs going all the way around the top of this. So it's just going to end up looking like a half circle, semicircle, whatever you want to call it. It'll end up looking something like that, right? And what we're then going to do is we're just going to place some birch fence around the top of this as well, because it adds a little bit more colour and it just makes it look a little bit more intricate. So something like this, it'll actually go around these stairs for the top little part of the roof, just like that. So that looks really good, and well done, you've done a huge part of the house already. So next thing that we're going to do, now that we have done that part, is we are going to extend the trunk of the tree upwards by an additional 8 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like that. And we want to extend every single one of these oak woods upwards by 8 until we eventually reach where we are building. So you might be wondering, like, we're kind of building this in a weird way, aren't we? I mean, yeah, I guess we kind of are, but we are building this in levels. We've taken care of the entire base level of the treehouse. We have taken care of the mechanism in which we are going to be able to get up to the second level, the middle level, as I call it. And this is a cool part of the house, by the way. When I show you the inside of the house later, I think that you guys are going to appreciate what's inside of this particular part of the tree. And again, that's later. You gotta wait. And this is the connecting point, basically. This is a connecting point between the top and the bottom, so it's quite important. And once again, once we get all the way up here, I'm going to fill the top of this in using birchwood planks, or oakwood planks, whatever you want to use as a flooring material, but I'm trying to be consistent with the birch wood. Well, once you do reach this point right here, it's now time for us to go up. Yeah, it's kind of time for us to go up a little bit higher, I'm afraid. Okay, it's important that this point is marked out though. Alright, so what I'm going to do is on this middle block, right here, on the front, I'm going to place a door. That's right, I'm going to place an oak door right there, just on that part of the tree. And that's an important point to mark out. Once you have done that, we are going to then place an additional 14 rows of oak wood coming upwards, and this will take us to the top of the tree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right the way to the top. That's perfect. And we want to raise up all of these oak woods. So this part above the oak woods door is a little bit tricky, but it's very, very important that that point is marked out, because once you reach the top there, once you've placed that birchwood plank, that is as kind of about as high as the actual house part goes. Unless you build some sort of weird secret base built into the top of the tree, but I mean, that's completely up to you. What we're now building is the very top of the tree. This is going to stick out beyond the second portion of the house, the upper portion of the house, I should say. And it's where all of the leaves are, and we've got some more glass detail, and we'll have a couple of branches and stuff up here too, and it'll even have a hanging light. That's what this part of the tree is. So you can see this thing is substantially high. I don't know how many blocks it is, but I'd have to guess anywhere between like 50 and 70. I know that's a broad range, but I hope that you guys don't have limited space when it comes to building up. I guess it'd be kind of weird to build a tree house like under something, so I'm hoping that that won't be a problem. But anyways, we want to have something which should look exactly like this, which looks a little bit weird at this moment in time, but hey, we're about to solve that problem. So, the thing that I want you to do from here is I want you to come all the way to where the door is, which is right here, of course. I highly doubt that you're going to get it lost. I want you to place birchwood planks left and right of the door. I want you to raise those planks up by an additional row. Above the door, I kind of want to have some sort of detail, so perhaps whether that's glass or whether that's glass block or whatever, as long as there's something above the door that's some sort of detail, I'm going to be quite happy. What I also want to do is place a row of birchwood planks coming inwards on the inside of the tree trunk, so like here, 1, 2, and 3, matching where the door is. And then going left of this part of the tree here, so we're wrapping round, I want you to place a birchwood plank here, left of this 4 upside down birchwood stairs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a birchwood plank, extend that plank upwards by 3, 1, 2, 3, and then all the way over to the right. Extend down, place birchwood planks on the inside of the left and right side of this part of the tree. I want you to place yourself a little bit of glass in the middle, and then some oak trapdoors on the sides of the glass like this. And then we are going to extend the side of this as well. We're going to extend the side of this a little bit backwards, and we're going to go backwards by 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are just going to extend the entire side backwards. And then extend the entire side towards the center of the tree like this. And once again, if you feel like adding more windows and stuff, then absolutely feel free. It just so happens that, again, you've got limited space. I don't want to place too many windows. And then we're going to take the side of the house at the top, and we're going to extend up the 4 middle blocks here, upwards like this, and then the top 2 middle blocks like that. We're going to add a roof to this thing. So the roof is basically going to be your regular series of rows of oakwood stairs just sat on the sides of the pyramid that we have created, and it's just going to look exactly like this. As you can see, going to come all the way back down, and you will have to stop it when it comes to the back, like you'll just have to stop it like there or somewhere, you know. Have the stairs overhang the side of the house just by 1 row, just like this. And then upside down oakwood stairs underneath the overhanging row, as is customary in our tradition. If you want to make the bottom of the house look a little bit fancier, you can always add the upside down birchwood stairs. Not necessary by any stretch of the imagination, but it does look a little bit better, I think. But that's kind of like a personal choice. It's up to you. We also have to add a little bit of a roof for this part of the house here where we have the entrance. It's the same thing as we had down below, so that means just 2 rows of oakwood slabs on the sides of the top of the entrance. We extend upwards, and then in, join, up, extend back. That's all there is to it. That's about as easy as it gets. So far, we want to have something which looks like that, which looks really, really cool, by the way. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. But we do also have a little bit more detail to add, and least of that, by the way, is to give this little house a chimney, which I almost forgot about. So we line up with where the oak wood trapdoors are on the left side of this window, and we count up 1, 2, 3 rows, destroy, birchwood plank, 2 on top. Just like that. So that matches what we just have down below. And now that we have created that, we now have to create a platform for the house. So it's actually quite easy to do the platform. First, we are going to add a layer of birchwood planks underneath the entire house area. So anywhere that you have house, I just want you to add birchwood planks underneath it. Just like this, to give it a floor. On the inside now, you'll actually have a floor to walk around on. And this is the principle that I'm going to show you when you're making this platform. I want you to have 2 rows of space to walk around no matter what part of the platform that we're going to be on. So for instance, coming out of the bottom of the entrance, I want you to place 2 rows of birchwood planks. 1 row, 2 rows. On the right side of the tree, I want you to place 1 row, 2 rows. On the back of the tree, 1 row, 2 rows. And at the very left side of the house, I want you to place 1 row, 2 rows coming out of the side. So, in principle, we should be able to have 2 rows of birchwood planks to walk around on no matter where we go. And we're going to square it up. We're going to fill in the corners until we end up with a big boring rectangular shape. But we won't stick with a big boring rectangular shape for too long. Trust me, we can make it look all nice and cool. Circles are in. I'm just saying. So, once we have placed all of these birchwood planks like this, that looks pretty good, I think, don't you guys? Now, all we have to do is round off the edges. So, if you just knock off, like, the corners like this, just the 3 middle blocks on the corners, on any given corner, it doesn't really matter which. Maybe, like, here. Like there. I mean, you'll still be able to get around the back of the house. And then here as well. And then if you place oak wood slabs around the top of the platform that we have created, you'll end up with a pretty decent looking platform, and it's nice and circular. The reason that we're looking for circular, by the way, is because it fits the shape of the tree. Like, sometimes it looks a little bit weird to take like a big circle part of the tree like we have, and then add a big square or rectangle on top of it. You can see that actually it fits the shape quite well. And speaking of fitting the shape quite well, we're going to use birch fence now, and we're going to place birch fence around on top of the oak wood slabs, like this, on the platform. So, just sitting on top of the platform on the outer side like that. Wonderful, there we go. We will have we'll have a nice little platform that we've created. But what else do we want to do? Well, we want to add branches to our tree, which involves the need of oak wood and some oak leaves. Where might you want to add these branches, you might be thinking to yourself? Well, one branch I think should be added just underneath the platform on the left here. Oh, a little bit of a hole in our platform for some reason. There we go. And these branches, they don't have to be elaborate. They can be made out of a few rows of oak wood. And if you just extend the oak wood so that it's kind of like a branchish sort of shape, something like that, right? You know, something natural looking. And then if you place some oak leaves around the branch, and the oak leaves want to be sort of like circular in nature, they don't even have to be that dense, you know, they can just be a few rows down. Something like this would look good. And the whole point of trees is to make them look natural. So, you want to try and make it look as naturally occurring as possible, and something like that actually goes a long way, right? Whether you make it bigger or smaller than that, something like that would go a long way in aiding the shape of the house. Additionally, I'm going to add one all the way up here, just to the right of the upper house. So again, I'll use a similar sort of shape, right? So like a few oak woods sticking out the side like that. I kind of want to make them not that way. I kind of want to make it kind of look a little something like that. And add some oak leaves around the top of it, you know? And it might even, in this case, it kind of acts as though it's a little bit of a barrier as well to get around the top. But that's no big deal. It doesn't really matter. And as long as it looks, you know, something like that, something reasonable, maybe even a little bit bigger than what we have now. So maybe like something like that. maybe make it a little bit bigger. I don't know. Again, a lot of this is going to be, as with tree houses, is the nature of tree houses. You know, just make it until you're happy with it. That looks pretty decent to me anyway. Well, once we've made a couple of branches, I think that it's also important to add a few more details again to the tree. So detail number 1, I want to make a little bit of an entrance into the tree. So the idea is that we climb up these stairs all the way up here, and we go all the way around, and on this side of the tree here is an entrance. So I'm going to delete these 2 blocks and place a door. But I want to make the door a little bit fancier, so what we could do is perhaps add a birch fence the other side of the door, and maybe just like a couple of oak wood slabs, just to kind of highlight the fact that that's where you've got to go, you know, something like that. As we work our way up the tree, I'd also enjoy it if we had a couple of bits of glass built into the tree. So the way that I've actually done it is like this. So if we start from the very top of the tree, all the way up at the very top, right? I want you to take the middle of the front of the top of the tree, and I want you to count down 1, 2. Delete 2 blocks, leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, delete 2 blocks. Place glass in there. You will see that that is quite perfectly balanced, even more so by the fact that we're going to be adding glass around, we're going to be adding leaves around the top of that too. I want you to move down and onto the middle bit of the tree. I want you to count in from the top, in the middle. I want you to leave a gap of 2, destroy 2. Gap of 2, destroy 2, like that. And I'm going to be placing some glass in there as well, like that. And you can see it does add a decent amount of detail to the tree. It does make it look really good. And now that you have done that, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to give you, the grueling task of the top of the tree. Least favorite part. Honestly is. Out of any tree house, my least favorite part is doing the leaves at the top of the tree. We've made huge progress. Well done, ladies and gentlemen, but we have to do the top. So, I want you to come all the way up to the very top of your tree house, right? We're all the way up at the top now. And we're going to place a layer of oak leaves on the top of the oak wood, right up at the top of the treehouse, okay? And the way that we're going to build the leaves at the top of the treehouse, and this is exactly how I've done it, and this is how I usually make leaves, because it's a tried and true method. We take these leaves and we add another layer of leaves coming around the outside, joining together at the corners. That's all you've got to do. Just add another layer, like this, right? And once you've done that once, you want to do that again. You actually probably want to do it, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 more times. It depends how realistic and how crazy you want to go. You use the same methodology every time. You simply place a layer of oak leaves or whatever leaves going all the way around the top of your treehouse. I probably wouldn't vary them. And you just want to create a platform to make your leaves. If you start off with a straight platform like this, a straight, regular shaped platform, you can build upon it and you can make a really natural looking set of leaves. It just so happens that this is the best way to kind of get things started off. Like, if you try and build a shape out of nothing, quite oftentimes you kind of lose where you want to go, where you've got to go. But if you start the shape out of something, then you have something to build from. That's the only principle that we're using here. And you've got to remember, when it comes to these leaves, and I hope that I'm not going to show all of this on recording. I hope not. We'll have to see. It depends how this goes. So, first of all, you want to have this shape. You can see it's perfectly even on all of the sides, right? It's actually a bit of a boring shape. It's almost like a squarey circle. Kind of looks like a cube. Well, the way that we add layers to this is by, first of all, add another layer of leaves going all the way around the top of this. You build upwards. But here's the thing. Try and not extend every single leaf upwards. Only try and extend some of the leaves. Alright, so like go all the way around the sides, but just miss out a couple of leaves every so often, you know? Build them backwards a little bit. Add some shape. Add a little bit of diversity. Something like that. And just go all the way around the side like this. And you will find that you end up eventually with quite a pleasing shape. So like that's layer number 2. Layer number 2 is not going to make too much of an impact. But what about layer number 3? Layer number 3, you do the exact same thing. And you guys are going to find this very repetitive. Okay? It's gonna trust me, I know. I've done this, I've used this technique many times. You might have as well, if you've made some of my over tree houses, but you will find it works, and that's the important thing. You want to add layers and layers, and layers and layers, and layers and layers of oak leaves on top of the treehouse, okay? And you keep doing this, literally. It's that exact same level of oak leaves that you keep adding, and you keep going up, and you keep building inwards, and you might find that you kind of like add some to the sides and stuff like this, you know? You add a few aberrant like oak leaves underneath, and maybe you even do this, like and you can, by the way, this works, this looks good. If you add texture underneath as well, it looks good too. Like you don't want to have a flat, like you don't want to have just like a weird flat underside of the tree. That looks strange. So you want to add like layers of leaves underneath the tree as well. So however many of those you want to add is completely up to you. I only added one on the original, which you would have seen at the start of the video, and I thought that looked alright. So, you know, I'll leave that up to you how many you want to add to the top and the bottom. But just start off by adding a little bit like this. And something like that looks good, you know? And in doing that, I mean, you'll notice that now it does already look as though it's quite heavily textured underneath because of the techniques that we've been applying above. And what I'm going to continue to do is just keep doing it on top. I'm going to keep doing the same thing on top, and I'm going to keep going around, and I'm going to add some more and more layers, okay? So I don't want to do this on recording, but this is like going to be, I'll show you as I progress, like what more and more layers will do for you, okay? So this is one extra layer, this is another layer, and by the way, this is what it looks like from the side as you add more and more as well. And finally, this is the final layer, that is the top of the treehouse complete. So this is also just dropping down to the side. This is what it'll eventually look like. Something like that, right? Like, that actually looks quite close to my original version, but you can make that a lot wider, you can make it taller, you can add different shapes to it. It's completely up to you how you go about it, and you can add shape to it as you go, like, along the side. Like, don't think that you have to be finished just by adding, like, layers up and down. You can add layers to the side to give it a bit of a shape as well. But that is honestly up to you, like how far you want to go with it. I mean, it'd look perfectly fine with just a few layers. So feel free, if you want to, pause the video, make sure that you have the top of your treehouse all nice and done up. And then, you know, once you have done that, we can just progress on to the next part. And there's not too much more to go. So the next thing that we're going to do, and I have to add one of these to every single one of my tree houses. I love to add at least one hanging light. It's almost like hanging like a keychain on your keys. I have to do it. Underneath the right side of the tree leaves, I'm going to place a few layers, or a few rows I should say, of birch fence coming down from the top of the tree. On the end of it, I'm going to place a glowstone, and around the glowstone, the sides, I'm going to place oak trapdoors. And it just, I love doing this. I don't know why, every single tree I make, I've got to have that on every single one. I love that. It's just a little bit, it's almost like an earring or something for the tree. It's just a little bit of decoration. So whether you want to add that or not, what I would highly recommend doing is adding a little bit of leafage also around the base of the tree a little bit. So like for instance, just left of the entrance, you might want to add some like oak leaves, just kind of going around the base of the tree just a little bit. It doesn't have to go all the way around. You might want to do a similar thing just up above here, so like a little bit of leafage just going like around the top of the tree as well, or around the middle part of the tree. It just adds a little bit of colour too. You might also want to add a little bit perhaps in like this corner of the tree house as well, just to add, again, it's all about little bits of colour and integrating the house into the tree a little bit better. What I'm also going to do, which I like this little bit of detail, I'm actually going to dig around the base of the bottom house, and I'm just going to dig all the way around the base like this. And I'm going to place leaves inside as well, so I don't know whether that kind of like fits with the whole tree idea, but it kind of just takes that material that we've been using all along and it kind of implements it into the house a little bit better. And beyond that, I'm also going to add some flowers around that as well as a bit of a border just going around all of this. I love poppies in Minecraft, and I love the colour red. It's my favourite colour, hence why I like to add it everywhere. So I'm just going to add that around the base of the tree, and it just adds an additional colour to it, and it makes the lower part of the treehouse stand out a little bit more. What you can also do as well is you can create a pathway that will lead you not only from the front towards the front of the treehouse, the lower part of the treehouse, but you could also create a grass path that leads you to the side like this. No matter however you'd like to do that, of course, that's up to you. Something like that would look cool though, right? I mean, maybe even like another block there. Something like that would look fine. I always like pools of water around the base of the tree, and it kind of makes sense because trees need water. I think it just kind of goes together and it adds another colour. It's all about colour and stuff. So if you want to make a kind of like a little bit of a trench of water going around the side of your treehouse, kind of like in a semicircular sort of shape like this, come all the way around the back, something like that. And just, it doesn't have to be a regular shape. It can be an irregular shape, or it can be a regular shape. It's kind of up to you. But I like my shapes mostly random. On the original version, it's actually a proper shape, like it's all planned out and it looks all nice and neat and stuff. But typically speaking, I like more random shapes, especially when it comes to nature-like builds like this, right? So something like that, look fine. Maybe poke these out a little bit further coming back. That looks good. How about that one there too? So something like that sort of hole right there, right? And then place some water in there, and that'll look cool. And if you want, you can even put something in the bottom of the water to make it stick out a little bit. So if you're looking for a good material to actually use and put in the bottom of the water, something sandy coloured like this would work, like birch wood. But, sand would also work. The original sandy colour. You guys get the idea. So, it looks quite good. But if you were to actually also, dig it out, and I'll grab sand anyway, just because it might be a bit... it makes more sense to bottom a pool of water with. Like, if you dig out the sand, you'll be able to see the difference between the sandy parts and the non-sandy parts as well. So I'm just going to dig out all of this, place sand in here, and more sand. So yeah, there you go. You'll already be able to see the difference. It actually looks really good. And ladies and gentlemen, I mean that's actually the treehouse complete, right? So let me put a base in the pool. Let me get rid of the concrete, and then I'll show you what we're left with. But we've actually completed every aspect of the treehouse. Well done! So this is what the whole project should look like once it has been 100% fully completed, ladies and gentlemen. And hopefully this is very similar to what you are looking at right now as well. So now that the tutorial portion of this video has been completed, why don't I take you to the original version of the house so that I can show you how the inside worked, and I can show you how you might want to decorate it. It's completely up to you though. Let's go. Now here we are back at the original. The first place that we're going to go is right in the very bottom of the house. So this is the lowest point in the house. We enter through the front door here, and you'll notice that immediately to our left we have a small enchantment library. We have a little bit of a storage area set up. If you look up above us, we actually have kind of like a cool ceiling that's built into the trunk, and it kind of fits the shape very nicely. We have a little bit more of a chest area as well, and if we come into the larger part of the house, you'll notice that we have a double bed, we have a smelting area, we have more chests, we even have a couple hidden behind the door as well. If we come out of this little part of the house, and if we come back out the house completely, and we climb up to the second story, and the idea is that we climb up, we go around the side of this platform, and we enter here inside this door. And this is the middle trunk of the tree. This is a really cool area. I like this a lot. We have a few different crafting zones, like we have a brewing area, we have an anvil, we have chests, we have plenty of chests riding up the walls, kind of really fitting of the shape of the treehouse. And eventually we would get up to the top here, and we can climb this ladder here, and we get up into the very top of the tree where we have a double chest. We have a couple of chests, a beacon for decoration. And again, if you look upwards as well, we kind of have like a roof that fits the shape of the tree. And we can either come out onto the outside of the tree, or we can come in this little room here where we have, again, a bit more of a furnace smelting area, more chests. We even have a hidden ender chest hidden behind these two beds as well. It's all nicely decorated. The roofs all fit very well into the shape of the treehouse. And what you could even do, which I didn't decide to do, is you could build up even higher and build up into the very top of the treehouse. You could even have, like, say, like a hidden ladder around the side of the treehouse, right? So you could have a hidden ladder around the side of the treehouse, and it could come all the way up at the back, and you could actually, like, literally have like a whole room built into the very top of your treehouse, which would be really cool. Or perhaps you could like build up and then down, and you'd have like a whole area inside the treehouse. And you know, I guess that's kind of like up for interpretation whether you guys would want to do that or not, but I think that'd be pretty awesome. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me and the channel out very, very much. If you have enjoyed the tutorial and you want to see more, please subscribe and click the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get my stuff sent directly to your sub box. And not only that, if you do want to check out more houses like this, more tree houses, more survival builds, survival bases, that sort of stuff, you're going to want to check out the card system and the description below for all of those things. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I want to climb all the way up to the top of the treehouse and jump off to say goodbye, as is customary. Goodbye. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.